Hey team, it's Bram. In today's video, I'd like to explain you why we're going to replace the 10-year-old smoke detectors with the new ones. Alright team, before I explain to you guys why we're going to replace the smoke detectors when they're 10-year-old, let's take a minute to go back and have a look at the basic principle of an optical smoke detector. An optical smoke detector works with what we call a smoke chamber. And the smoke chamber, basically, for that you need to look at this part, literally where all the smoke will enter the smoke detector. And if you would open up that part, what you would find inside is a lamp. And by the way, I am fully aware of my drawing skills, so you don't have to make comments about that, but it's okay. And opposed to that lamp, you will always have what we call a receptor. And in normal functioning, the light of the lamp here will never arrive in this receptor. And why is that? Because we placed some plastic in between. That's why it's called an optical smoke detector, because it's literally light that needs to arrive at an endpoint in order for the smoke detector to have a detection. But in normal functioning, it never arrives. Now what happens when smoke enters the smoke detector? So somewhere in the house there's some smoke. And smoke contains ions that are very strong, and that will enter your smoke detector. These ions will reflect smoke very hard. You always have to know that smoke and light work together very good. Think about festivals, concerts, and all those kinds of shows will always have lights, but accompanied with smoke machines, so that you better see where the light bundles are. Now what happens at the moment that these particles, these ions, have entered your smoke detectors, at that moment the light will start reflecting and go into the receptor, and for that you will then have an optical detection, which is a smoke alarm in the house or in the business of our customers. And by the way, that's also the reason why we get a lot of false alarms coming from boiling water or a very hot shower, an open fire, anything like that that creates smoke or reflecting substances. And that's also the reason why we always test smoke detectors with very specific tools. So if you would look at our smoke detectors and you would take out the inner part, then you will perfectly see the lamp and the receptor. Alright, so what happens after 10 years, or what is the reason that we want to replace the smoke detectors? It's basically because our smoke detectors are becoming a little bit older. It's also mandatory by European law, but the reason behind it is basically that most likely the lamp will start going down in strength, will not be as strong as before anymore, and that there may be already too much dust in the smoke detector, creating a very big risk that smoke detectors would not work anymore. So it's basically aging, which we call smoke detector contamination, and that's the reason why they absolutely need to be replaced after 10 years of functioning. We are people protecting people, and that's why we need components to help us out, and some components after 10 years need to be replaced so they remain as trustworthy as they have always been. That's why we're going to replace them. This year already, in 2022, we will have around 70 customers per month that have smoke detectors that have become 10 years old and need to be replaced. As you see, as from next year, it already goes up to 280 per month, and this task will never stop, because from this year on, we will always have customers with smoke detectors that need to be replaced. That's why we're launching a lot of projects, and we're counting on everybody in the company to be aware on why we are replacing the smoke detectors. We're counting on a lot of teams, field service, TSC, retention, customer care, everybody in the operations teams. Basically, be aware, inform your customers, warn them of the risks, and we will communicate more steps that we're going to take in a proactive approach to be able to replace all the smoke detectors and guard over our customers' safety and peace of mind. Thanks.